Hey guys! Welcome back to a new episode of Okay, I Said Too Much podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. I usually start off the podcast with a little intro of what we're talking about, but I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm staring at episode plan that just has a weekly update and a trending topic. So if that tells you anything about how this week is going, there you go. This week has been tough. My nephew is moving to Tampa on Monday, which is tomorrow. Today's Sunday. I'm recording on Sunday. Another at-home recording sesh, which is nice though. That is nice. I have been really focusing. If you follow the podcast page on Instagram, it's istm.podcast. I would say my last 3 posts are like going towards the rebrand of the podcast. So I've been really focusing on that here lately. I'm just trying to make everything more like sleek, cohesive. I'm finally getting my shit together. Look to the podcast. So that is what I've been focusing on. Next episode, I have been planning next episode. My whole next episode for like the trending topic is planned basically. And I think that's why this episode kind of fell through the cracks. And I've been working on potentially putting the audio on YouTube, and that is a feat within itself. Like it's a big task to take on. I don't know why I feel so out of breath today. I'm like, I didn't eat that much before I recorded because I didn't want to be like super full that way, but I drank like a whole like tea from this Vietnamese spot, like basically tea that would usually have boba in it, but I don't put boba in it. I put aloe pieces. They have the aloe chunks in it, and I love that shit. And so I literally drank all of that so fast. So now I have like slosh belly, feeling a little sloshy sitting here. Like I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy today. I went out last night. I went out Friday with my friend Bianca, went out Saturday with Rachel. Rachel came up. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. I ran around all day Saturday during the day because it's my niece's birthday today on Sunday as we're recording. She turned 4. And then we were kind of like doing a joint celebration because my nephew will not be here for his 14th birthday in August. So we like went to the Science Museum, the History Museum. So we did that all day Saturday. I am exhausted and I have scattered brains. People are always like the Sunday scaries. I get the Sunday sads, the Sunday spiral. Like I get sad on Sundays. Like I want to be laid up so bad and I don't have anyone to be laid up with. Like I just get sad. Sundays are just sad. And with my nephew leaving, I'm even more sad. So yeah, but we're going to jump right into our trending topic. Our trending topic today is really cool. It's cool to me. It might be cool to you guys. And then we'll just feed on this episode. We're going to make this episode work. It's going to be good, guys. You know me. I love to talk. So grab a shot and stay a while because I didn't say that in my intro, so I have to say it here. So let's jump right into the trending topic. Okay guys, to know me, 1 is to love me, and 2 is to know that I am constantly talking about wanting to be abducted by aliens. Okay, and hear me out. The reason why is I just feel like aliens don't believe in capitalism. I feel like that is a very non-alien thing, okay? I have always believed in the existence of aliens, UFOs, all of that. Like, you can't tell me that this universe, scientists preach how vast the universe is. So you can't tell me all that and then not tell me that there's other universe and planets and people out there. Like, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. There's just no, like, it just doesn't make sense. You can't tell me that. So I've always believed. But this week, I guess we got confirmation of that, I guess. It hasn't been a trending topic in the way that where it's like informational. I've just seen a bunch of people talk about like, oh, the government kind of confirmed that we have seen UFOs and the US government knows all about aliens and all this shit and no one cares. And it's just because we got bigger problems, okay? We got bigger issues. We got bigger fish to fry than there being aliens. I'm just going to tell you about, because I thought when I heard that like the US government confirmed aliens, I thought it was something completely different. I thought it was like somebody got up there and was like, we got aliens. No, that's not what happened at all. So basically what happened is that they had a congressional hearing about it where there were government military whistleblowers coming out and saying like, hey, the US knows the existence of UFOs. So the technical term now is not UFO, it's UAP, which means unidentified aerial phenomenon, which I feel like it's so complicated. but that is the technical term now. And so 3 former military officials told Congress on Wednesday that they believe the government does know more about UFOs than it is telling the public. Of course, the government is looking at this in a way of they think... I just had a brain fart. The government is looking at this in a way of like it is a threat to our military or civilian aircraft, which I do completely understand, but I think other than that, they don't care. They don't care to tell us anymore. And I think most people don't care to know more. In NBC News, they report that David Grush, Grush, I think that's right, a former U.S. intelligence official told the panel that he is absolutely certain that the federal government is in possession of UFOs, citing interviews he said he conducted with 40 witnesses over a 4-year period. So there's these 40 witnesses that say they've tried to like recreate like crash UFOs basically. Like if they, you always hear people finding stuff that like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not explained, like it's not an aircraft that we would use. And so they find these pieces like crashed somewhere. And so basically these witnesses come forward and were like, the U.S. government tries to rebuild them into the UFOs, like working backwards basically. And it's just so funny to me because the public citizens really do not care. I think if this was like 20 or 30 years ago, you would get more public like outrage, or not even outrage, but just like, we want to know more, we want to talk to these 40 witnesses, we want to see pictures, we want to know what the US government has. Like we would get more of that if this was like 30 years ago. Or yeah, definitely, because I think there was this big interest of like, what is out there? What does the U.S. government know? Like, what's that place called? Like Area 59? Like, there's obviously something going on there. We want you to tell us more. But I feel like now when you have so many things going on in the government, day to day, a recession, people dying because of capitalism, people just don't care. People just don't care. We have so many other things to worry about. And it was just so funny to me because it's like, when you see videos about the whole UFO situation on TikTok, it's literally just people talking about how they literally don't care. Someone was like, show me a picture. Or there's been so many jokes of like, when I bring my 7-foot UFO husband home to my parents, not 7-foot UFO, when I bring my 7-foot alien home to my parents, someone made a whole skit of like an alien and it had like an East Atlanta accent, and this girl was like, the girl in it was like, do you like black girls? It's just like, we don't take anything serious, because I feel like when you live in constant chaos, like you can't like take things too seriously. And so I think too, the US government just expected a completely different reaction. I also think the whistleblowers themselves expected a different reaction. Like I think they thought it was going to incite some type of like outrage with the public, so the government would have to tell us more, and we're just all like, next topic because we don't care. Like, fix inflation first and then we'll talk. But me, I'm like, okay, if y'all want to touch down, I'm down to go to another universe, but y'all gotta be able to talk English. Like, we gotta be able to communicate. They're probably like, y'all have beat y'all's ozone layer to shit. We're not coming down there. Y'all can have planet Earth because we don't want it. That's probably what they'd be looking at us saying. That's just me. That's what I feel. But that was my trending topic for this week because I thought that was funny, because I just thought the situation was different. I didn't think it was a freaking whistleblower. I thought it was like the U.S. government like releasing files and documents, or telling us what's at Area 59. That's what I thought it was. Some pictures. No, it was just people on the stand saying, yeah, I work for the military in this field. I know we have UFOs. Or people are like, yeah, the U.S. government has like taken aliens and have seen aliens and shit like that. So I was a little disappointed, honestly. Me, for someone who has a fascination with like extraterrestrial life, or like I have a fascination of like, I would love to know what goes on in the different galaxies and universes and other planets. Like, I know it's not just this right here. There's other things out there. I was like really excited to learn more, and it wasn't that. Or maybe it was just, maybe more will come out because of these whistleblowers. So maybe this is going to be one of those situations where I'm going to have to keep you guys updated. But I just thought, I don't know. Because it was like, a lot of people were saying like, oh, the US government has confirmed they know about aliens. But I wasn't getting that from what I read. And I read quite a few articles. So I don't know. That's my trending topic for this week. Maybe there will be more updates. I do have an update on our last trending topic that Carly Russell did get arrested. I do not know her charges. I should have looked that up, but I literally just thought like maybe I should put this in here. She slayed in that mugshot though. Skin is clear, boy. Okay. Girl was held up in a motel for 2-3 days and she's like, I'm not skipping my skincare though. So I feel it. But that's a little update on that for you guys. She was taken into custody. Charges were filed against her. I'm sure it's going to be like false report, waste of government resources. But I will say one weird update is 2 of my favorite content creators, like true crime content creators, have covered the fact that she did lie, and the comments feel a little racist. A lot of white people wanting the book thrown at this girl for wasting resources, and just like in a very weird, angry way. The comments, I haven't watched them. There's a lot of videos out here by that like content creators, true crime content creators that I like religiously watch all their videos that I have not watched because I'm like, I don't want y'all. I just don't think it's that deep. I do think, well, I will say it is that deep, but I'm like, I think there's a better way to go about all this. But yeah, people are not nice about the situation. I think Black people make a joke out of everything. Okay. I think when you've experienced so much like ancestor trauma and stuff like that, because they say that like stores within all of us, you just find a way to like joke. I wonder if our ancestors joked about slavery like that. Like they use laughter. I don't know why is this going here? Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm like super exhausted. My brain is just like spiraling. I'm over here thinking like, I don't know how we got here. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of this episode because obviously my brain is going left. Y'all know I have talked about this before, this idea of struggling with like every episode of the podcast has to be so great. So like every episode has to be life changing, and that's just not going to be today's not going to be one of those episodes. I've already said this. I'm exhausted. The Dawn and Lunazul got the best of me last night. And so I came into this episode with no plan. And the reason for that is I said to myself when I first started in January, I did want this podcast to turn into me sitting behind a mic and venting and being sad about being single or talking about trials and tribulations of dating every single time I got a chance to. I was talking to Rachel yesterday and she was like, you need to do more episodes about you and like your like rapid fire hot takes and like stuff like that. You gotta do more episodes like that. Next week's episode is really cool. It's gonna be all about me, but in a good way. Really good, really interesting episode. I can't wait for next week's episode. And I'm sitting here today and I'm thinking, what do I want to talk about? Like, what's going on? Like, how am I feeling? Like, you know, basically checking in with myself, because I will say I have not been doing that lately. I have not been checking in with myself when it comes to planning out the episodes. I have been more, what do the people want to hear? What do people want to hear? Let's laugh. Let's find something cool. Let's talk about what's going on, the trending topics, all the, what is going on around me that I can put into the podcast episode that's going to be entertaining. I haven't been doing like season 1, my first 10 episodes. They were a lot about me, a lot about the stuff I had learned, because I want to get that information out. I want to help people. And I feel like I can still help people and still bring a light to someone just as like, a distraction. Like, ooh, let me listen to these Reddit stories, or let me listen to these like hot takes of what's going on right now. And so I found myself steering away from talking about things that I'm personally going through, and I've just kind of more put that into my weekly updates. Like my weekly updates have gotten really deep, and like here's like this life advice tidbit that I've learned, and I haven't really been making that like the meat and potatoes of the episode, as I tend to say. So this week I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. Like there's nothing going on that I really want to talk about. I do want to do another Reddit episode again because I just found the confessions page, and that is going to be juicy. Okay, so I'm like, I know I want to do that again. I know it's like, I know what I want to do for like future episodes. I have the ideas, I have them all up there, but I'm like, dang, it's been a while where I've just gotten on here and like, you're right, like talked about myself and talked about things I'm going through and giving advice and all that. And I think it's because, one, what I'm going through, I feel like it's like kind of like a woe is me situation, like kind of just complaining to complain, like nothing is really wrong, or I I don't know, like I just felt like no one wants to hear about it. No, that's not what people are coming for. And I've gotten such a good response from episodes where I do find outside sources to talk about, outside sources to give advice on, and it's not like my real life things that are going on. And so I'm like, I think I just need to make a more personal episode. Is that what I need to do? So I don't know. It's definitely been a very weird transition, especially I think what has sparked this conversation is because I do want to rebrand the podcast. And so I think what people always tell you is don't get put into a box. Don't put yourself into a box. And so that's what I was really trying to do the second time around. I was planning all these episodes. I'm like, I don't want to put myself in a box. I want anybody from any walk of life to be able to find a podcast episode, even if it's just one, that they can enjoy and they can listen to. That's why I like to do trending topics about all sorts of different things, because it's like, okay, even if you don't resonate with what I'm talking about for the actual bulk of the episode, you can still enjoy like the trending topic, stuff like that, just not trying to put myself in a box. And so I think the thing for me is I found myself like really like searching and trying to like grab inspiration from somewhere to like find something instead of just like getting behind here and doing literally what the podcast name is and talking too much. So I just was like, what am I struggling with? Like, what is something I want to talk about that like someone else might be struggling with, or like, just something I can like have more of a connection with? Because as much as I like really enjoy some outsourcing material to talk about, sometimes it doesn't spark the same creative juice or the same eviction. Like, I don't know, I am rambling. So let's get into it. Basically, all this to say, I just want to talk about my dating life, and I want to talk about what I am struggling with right now. And this is why. Because I feel like when you become a creative and you're doing something that you're putting your heart into, when you don't have anything to stimulate that, it's so crazy how much of a slump your creative side takes. And I think that's why I've been struggling so much lately, is because it's like, if someone were to ask me, oh, what's going on in life? Crickets, baby. Crickets. Ain't nothing going on over here. Honey, ain't nothing going on over here. Besides work and podcasts and create. But then it's like, I can't create because I don't have any inspiration to pull from. I love bouncing ideas off of people, and I love getting a taste of like what other people want me to talk about. I love that. But at the same time, I also want to be like authentic to myself in talking about things that I'm very, very passionate about. But I feel like I have no passion in my life currently. And I feel like when you're following your dreams and doing something that you like and love and like want to like make a career out of, because I want to like, yeah, you already know I got a 2-year plan for this, so we gotta make it happen. So when you say like, oh, I don't have any passion in my life right now, people are like, well, aren't you doing what you're passionate about? What do you mean you don't have any passion in your life? I don't have any passion in my life because I don't have nothing going on. I don't have fuel behind the flame sometimes. I think I'm trying to process. I'm trying to process this while I'm talking about it. Instead of stop recording, I've just like been letting it go as I like try to process my thoughts. But it's like, I love my life. I love my friends. I love my family. I love my job. I love the podcast. Like that's all great. Passion does not come from like a source of like comfort and like stability. I feel like sometimes like, I don't want to be like, you need the trauma to make things good, but it's like sometimes you kind of do. Well, not the trauma, because we don't want trauma. We want good things. We want happy things. We want celebratory things. But it's like, you can't, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. You cannot always fuel your passions from other people's wins and other people's celebrations. So if you don't have any wins or celebrations of your own, you can't make passion just happen from that. You can't make creativity just happen from that. Like, part of my creative side is what I'm going through, and I just like pull from that, but if I'm not going through nothing, what is there to pull from? Because I can't pull from other people's life and trials and tribulations. I can't outsource that into an idea stream for me. I mean, I'm just saying all that to say life is very dual at the moment. But it was just, I was just thinking, I think I wouldn't say like, I'm like, oh my God, 30's right around the corner and I'm stressed about that. But I would say like, okay, so I've had the conversation, a very real conversation with someone that is like, after 32, you might want to think about freezing your eggs. And I was like, that's wild because, you know, you're honestly probably right. And then so today I was thinking about that conversation. I'm like, I've been single for 2 years and I cannot date. I think this is my problem. I don't know how to successfully date because it's like, one, I appreciate my spirit guides, my ancestors so much, but like if something's not right for me at this point in my life, they be snatching it back and taking it out of my life so quickly. There's so many guys that I have like met, talked to, told my friends about, and I think this is my problem. When I tell my friends about men, I always identify what I already see as a red flag in them. I already identify it. And I already speak that out loud. And I feel like the universe is like, oh, well, you said there was a red flag. You don't need to talk to them anymore. And then they go ghost and then they're just not there. And then it's like, what? You couldn't even let me meet the man? You couldn't even let me get past 2 weeks of talking to the man. So it's like I don't successfully date. I will say in the 2 years that I have been single, I've gone on 3 dates with 3 different dudes that I was like talking to at the time. And that's it. And so I don't successfully date. So it's like to think about being single for another 2 more years with how life goes now, that is so depressing. That's wild. Okay, so if our batting average is 3 dates in 2 years, 6 dates in 4 years. Hold on. I gotta do the math. Hold on. Where's my phone at? Let's do the math of how many days. That's 1,460 days. That's wild. And I think the thing is, like, I was having this conversation with my sister the other day. I was like, I can't do the hookups. I can't do the like, what's the surface level anymore. I'm just not a surface level person. I think too, when you get behind a mic and like dissect ideas and thoughts and things and processes as like basically a job, surface level is so boring. This is it. Oh my God. I have just connected the dots while recording. I was like, oh, this episode's going to be so bad. It might be a little bit rambly and I apologize for that, but you're real life witnessing why I love podcasting, because sometimes just talking things out loud and like just explaining them basically to myself, because I'm going to be honest, I'm just laying in my bed talking to myself, basically talking into a mic. It's so crazy how it helps me to connect the dots and just like put everything all together. Life is so surface level right now and I hate it. I'm just not a surface level person. If you can't tell in the 19 episodes of the podcast you listen to that I am not a surface level person, I'm very deep. I like connections. I like thoughts. I like intricate thoughts. I like stuff I can debate and dissect and go through. If you can't tell that is who I am as a person in these 19 episodes, then I have failed all of my listeners. I have failed the 432 plays that I've gotten on just like Spotify alone. Like I have failed you guys, because it's like that's what it is. My life is so surface level. It's so almost black and white in a way of it's like this, that, and that is what just takes all of my creative juice and just gets dumped down the drain. Like I have yes, I have the days where I'm like, oh, I'm sad, I'm lonely, this sucks, but for the most part, it's like I'm so content. This might honestly because I'm a Sagittarius sun and a Gemini rising, so I do thrive on a little bit of chaos, but there's no chaos going on in my life right now. There is absolutely nothing. It's so surface level. It's so like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. Then we're going to go here. And then you're going to lay in your bed. You're going to go to sleep. You're going to get up. You're going to do this. It's so surface level. And I'm going to go insane, y'all. I'm going to go insane. There's a certain type of like, there's like a thing where it's like you pull your hair out. And that's what's going to start happening. I'm going to start just picking, because I'm just going to be so stressed. Oh my God. It's so crazy because it's like the lack of stressors is making me stress. It's so crazy. And I will say, I have to remind myself that like, you have to be pretty grateful for all the quiet times. Yes, I'm one of those people. I talk to myself. Okay, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I talk to myself today. And I do it a lot on like recording days when I don't know what I'm talking about just yet, because I try to like drum up some like ideas in my head. And today I was talking, I'm like, I prayed for peace. For when me and my ex got back together, and I prayed for peace. I wanted us to experience peace together so badly. I prayed for silence. I prayed for good times. I prayed for being content. And now I'm all those things, and I'm stressed because I'm all those things. And I do love it. I love having like the free time, and it does help. I know why. Again, this is a great episode because you guys get to witness my thought process firsthand. I know why the universe has put me in this stage of life, because I have a bad habit giving someone all my free time. If I can, I will give you every ounce of my free time. And okay, so it's like Sunday at 9 p.m. and I'm recording. If I were to have any other type of relationship going on right now, I could have found a way to talk myself out of recording tonight. And I can't. The things I want to accomplish, the things I want to do, I cannot be doing that right now. I need to be focused. I need to be in my lane doing what I need to do. So it's like, I get it. But then I also have this thing where I'm like, wouldn't my perfect partner be like, no, you can't come over here. No, we're not going to go do this. You need to sit down wherever you need to sit down and record your podcast. That would be the perfect partner, right? That would be the perfect partner. That man is stuck in a tree somewhere and he can't get to me and he can't find me. Okay? It's so crazy. It's so crazy because it's like, I wanted this. I even talked about it last night. Like, it's a blessing and a curse to not have to worry about someone else. I can make my own plans. I don't have to feel bad for wanting to go and do things. I can just do it. There's no consequences. But it's also like, how fucking boring is that? Where you don't have someone that, like, because you can always flip it. And that's the bad part too about myself. I can always flip something to make a good into a bad, because it's like, how crazy it is to not have like someone to push you, someone that cares, someone that's like, well, I do want to spend all my time with you too. Like, I'm glad you're going out and having fun, but you know, I would love to like spend all this quality time together. Like, I talked to this man briefly. I wouldn't even call it talking really, but we were connecting, and I just realized like, I enjoy constant, I will say a healthy, constant communication. I enjoy being able to spend time with people. Like, my love language is definitely like how I give love is definitely like acts of service and quality time. So it's like, I want to spend every waking minute with you. And I know it's so bad, but it's like, this man, he's like busy. He's a busy guy. Like, he can't offer me that. And then it's like, I want to be one of those people where I just like wake up in love, because I just can't do the surface level. Surface level is so boring. And that is the problem, because my current life is so surface level, because there's not an ounce of something going on in my life. Not an ounce. And I always say this too. It's like, if I wanted it, I could have it, but I don't want something I'm not 150% like, you gotta check all the boxes, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. I am picky, okay? I am picky right now, and that is what's keeping me in this spot I'm in, because it's like, the universe isn't going to give me something that's not going to be like 100% what I want. Oh my God. This was just 20 minutes of me rambling. I really hope this makes sense. I'm going to kind of try to wrap this up to give you some type of piece of advice. And I think what I'd have to say is that everything you pray for and want in life, you have to be careful on how it manifests when it comes to you, because I did pray for this. I did want this. I did want the peace. I wanted to have the luxury of being able to go and do me and not have to answer to anyone. I didn't want the surface level. I didn't want the hookups. I didn't want all that. And I basically said, if you're going to send me that, I don't want it. Now I ain't got it. I definitely don't have it. When something that you pray for or manifest comes to fruition, you have to find the root of why it is the way it is. I can sit in this bed every day and cry tears and be sad because I am lonely. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do cry tears and be sad in this bed because I am lonely, and I'm struggling with that right now. Okay. And it's real deep. Okay. I do this thing where I don't tell a lot of people or talk about what I'm going through, because that's where all the emotions come up. Like, even now I'm trying not to get choked up about this. When your prayers and manifestations come to fruition, and they don't exactly look how you thought you wanted it to look, you have to ask and go through the thought process. If you take anything from this today, I have said this in past episodes where I talk out loud and talk through my problems because I feel like it helps me get to that point of understanding it all faster. And that's basically what I came on here and did today. When stuff comes to fruition and it doesn't look how you think you thought it would, look, can't speak because I'm trying not to get emotional. You have to ask the universe why it came like this. Like I processed and came to the conclusion here on this podcast with all of you guys. Mine is like this right now because I need to be focused. And I will say when I am sad, I do throw more of myself into the things that bring me joy, and my podcast brings me joy. So the universe is like, yeah, you're sad, you're lonely. I'm so sorry for that, but this is how you're going to get super popular 1,000+ download podcasts, the brand deals, all that, because you're going to be sad and you're going to throw yourself into this, and you're going to throw all the unwanted free time that you do have into this. You want me to give you the lights and the beams and the bling? You want me to give you all that? You got to take this. You got to take this. And I always tell myself, like, when I do think about it, I'm like, oh, I definitely have another year of being single. I definitely have another year of being single. I have this. And the reason why the universe is giving me that thought in the first place is because they're like, you need to stay focused. If I give you what you want, if I give you your dream, if I give you the one, you're not going to be focused. For at least 6 months, you're not going to be focused. You're going to be worrying about other things. And yes, the dream partner would try to steer you in the right direction and try to focus you, but you are not going to be truly focused. It took me 20 minutes to come to this, but when you pray for things, when you manifest for things, you always have to know why it's coming to you in a certain package. Not everything is going to be packaged up and look like the way you thought it would look like. And that is because you have to dig deeper for the meaning of it. And through talking it out with you guys, I've found the meaning that I'm in this stage of life I'm in because the universe wants to focus me a little bit more, because I do get unfocused very easily. I do tend to throw myself into someone and not take care of myself and not give myself the things I want. So I'm manifesting and I do all these things, and I, charge the crystals, and I journal, and I do this, and I ask for this, and I'm asking for the popular podcast. Okay, well, girl, then you're going to have to be bored and you're going to have to be sad, because unfortunately, that is what's going to motivate you and push you to get to where you want. If you've been wanting for something and asking for something and praying for something, just know that it's not always going to be wrapped up in the pretty package that you think it's supposed to be wrapped up in. And you need to be grateful for what you're getting and what the universe is giving you in this moment, because the universe is setting you up for so much more. So I know that was a lot and it was long-winded to get there, but we got there. Okay. And I thank you guys for coming on this long ride with me. If you made it to the end, if you didn't skip, thank you. But let's go ahead and jump in to our song of the week. I have to preface this song of the week with, of course, I don't support this person's actions 110%. I recognize that he is very toxic, and, anti-Semitic comments will never, ever be tolerated for me. But I think OG Kanye needs to be, praised for the musician he is. The song I'm going to have as my song of the week is off of the Graduation album. No one can deny that shit is a beautiful piece of artwork. The way that man can put an album together is just, like My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy. That album is a masterpiece, beautifully put together. Graduation is just as good too, if not even better. They're both like right there, head-to-head tie for me. This probably is one of my top 5 favorite songs. So I can't not give you guys one of my top 5 favorite songs because of who it's by. This is long before any of the terrible comments he has made. So I just wanted to preface that before we get into this week's song of the week. It is I Wonder by Kanye West. And the reason why I had to do that song today as a song of the week is because I think that kind of sums up just everything that I have been feeling, everything I've kind of been rambling about in this episode today. So I'm not going to say too much again because I know the rap Kanye gets now, but I Wonder by Kanye West, beautiful song. At the end he says on her independent shit, traded off for her husband and some kids. little bit. But it's just like, I wonder, like he says, I wonder if you'll ever find your dreams. Like, it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song, and I get it. I know how people feel about Kanye. I completely understand. But like I said, it's just like what I want to listen to in a time like this. And I think everyone can find beauty in the song. So that is the song of the week for this week. I am going to tell you guys where to find me. As always, the podcast Instagram is istm.podcast. We're on Threads under that name. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is all the same thing. Deidre with 4 A's at the end. So if you made it to this part of the podcast, like if you made it to the end and you listened all the way through, thank you. I hope it makes sense. I hope I can do my thought process justice in editing. So I will see you guys next week for the 20th episode of Okay, I Said Too Much. I love you guys and have a good week.